Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I have just recently retired, as of June 11th actually. I have been working with data since the 70s. Most recently, I've been spending some time using Alteryx for the last 3 years for a company. What we've done with Alteryx at Texas Health is to move data into the hands of the business analysts, get them to find some of their own data, bring in the data, manage it, merge it, manipulate it, prepare it using Alteryx. Data warehouses can't provide all the data that you need. They spend a lot of time maintaining what they currently have. But if you need more data, you need to bring it in yourselves and merge it through a tool such as Alteryx. Over my career, we've used a number of different database and data sources, such as manually storing the data in Word addressable files using hierarchical databases, relational databases, index sequential databases, on everything from large-scale mainframes to microcomputers to mini-computers to supercomputers. At the end of the day, it's all data, and you have to learn how to manipulate the data. So what I'm going to be spending my time with here is to walk you through using Alteryx to manipulate data, store data into a database, retrieve data, manipulate the data so it looks the way that you need it to look like, clean it up so it actually makes some sense. Application data and the feed that you get from data don't always have the proper elements in it for you to do your reporting with. And we'll also be able to talk about how Alteryx can do some of the reporting. To help with this, we're going to go ahead and use a number of different resources that provide us with a fully functional environment so we can do some good data manipulation, store some data. Start with, needed to have a place to put my data, needed a database. What I chose to do is to use Amazon Web Services, AWS. They have relational database servers that you can go ahead and rent. In fact, if you're not using a whole lot of storage or a whole lot of CPU, they'll give it to you for 1 year for free. That's currently what I'm doing, and I've installed or created a MySQL database out in AWS that I've now got access to store my data in. As you can see, I've created a little schema inside of this MySQL database on Amazon's Web Services called Daisy Hill. Daisy Hill has a long history. Back when relational databases were beginning to be used and people trying to figure out what a normalized database looked like, how to construct a normalized database, Database Magazine created this poster, which was a design to explain the different rules of normalizations, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it used a data set that basically had to do with puppies and tricks and costumes. And it was known as the Daisy Hill Puppy Farm as the standard database that was being used. I'm going to take some license with this database definition, as well as some of the normalization isn't going to be initially created within my data store. And we'll be using this data set to go ahead and talk about all the wonderful things that you can do within Alteryx as far as manipulating data, using macros and apps, moving data in, moving data out, and how we're going to represent this is, again, being an old school data guy, I'd like to have a data model that I've created. So here's my little Daisy Hill Puppy Farm data model. It's not completely normalized, but again, it's normalized where you typically see your application database working. And part of the exercise that we'll be going through will be to fully normalize that where it makes sense, build in some data marts and other kinds of reporting data stores. I've chosen to use this SQL DBM, which is a web-based data modeling tool. It does a pretty good job, allows me to draw pictures, it has good color in it, so we'll be able to use this to reference what it is that we're doing and how we're manipulating it. So I brought that out into this picture as well. And then last but not least, we're going to get into the Alteryx itself. We'll be starting out very simply through some of these videos that will show us how to move data from different sources, either be spreadsheets, flat files, or databases, to manipulate it very simply, to move it around, to get it to where you need it to be so you can do some further manipulations. We'll be looking at some very simple problems that you'll run into and how to solve them with the different data widgets that Alteryx provides you through all these different categories, as well as some of the more complex things that you'll be wanting to do and how to find and explore into what the Alteryx tool can do for you. Alteryx is great at allowing you to manipulate your data. You have to think about how data flows and what you want to do with data flows. We'll be talking about this through some other videos as we get into some more of the complex things that you might need to do or wonder how you can solve some of the very complex data problems that you have. But we're starting out simple and through some of these videos and slowly moving into the more complex things. Keep an eye on this channel as I introduce more videos. Leave comments for any of the videos for specific problems you may have or specific things you'd want to see or understanding where we're going and what we're doing, and I will get back to you with new videos. So I hope you have fun watching these videos. I know that I'm going to have fun making them, so stay tuned as I head into retirement and try to share all this data knowledge with you.